Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. If you watched my last video, you know that I went to Camp Xul 2. And if you were on this channel before, you know that I did my full Camp Xul 1 recap. This year, I had to bring on a couple professionals. And something like a professional is his tag. And then I decided to bring on a celebrity.
All right, okay.
World.
All right.
So obviously, to my right for you guys, I got Fats King, Jew, whatever the fuck you want to call him from Pics Didn't Happen.
I got so many monikers. I also answer to the guy you don't want to be in the pit with.
Yeah, the juggernaut of the pit.
We'll
I'll take that. I'll take that one too.
He was a grizzled veteran of Camp Xul, as I am. We both went to Camp Xul
1 and 2. We froze our asses off and then we grew them back so we could sweat them off.
Yep. And then I brought Robbie on from Twiztid History. You guys know him from being on 5 Piece, and me and him did the Psychoactive review. He's the homie. And I also really wanted to get him on because this was his first year. He wasn't at the first one, so I thought it would be good to get like a first-year person's perspective on the event. Thank you for joining me, Robbie, as always.
Oh my God, it's the least I could do.
Bro, yeah, if you ran into me while I was standing there with Robbie, you've already met Robbie as the most famous 10.5 thousand followers on Instagram.
Luke was really blowing me up the whole time, and it was perfect because I am horribly socially like nervous, so I wasn't gonna say hi to anyone out of the blue. And then you had to give me like the celebrity rollout carpet, which was embarrassing as shit. So it was a nice little gave us a bit to go in on with new people.
Well,
Yeah.
let me ask you this, because you've done Astro, you've done gatherings and shit. This being your first camp, you said you were you say you're kind of socially awkward. How did people react to you?
Well, okay, so when I say that, what I mean is I have a hard time initiating conversation with people I don't know. And great. I mean, perfect. I've not done Astro. I've done Gathering and Camp Xul now. The reason behind that is I live in Portland, so it's like $1,000 flight to get me there and all that kind of stuff.
That makes total fucking sense.
But everyone was absolutely perfect. You know, it was usually just me needing a push in the right direction to say hello, and then, you know, dominoes. Everything was like, couldn't have been nicer. I don't think I had one negative interaction with a single person.
That's fucking beautiful.
Camp Xul 2, Williamsburg, Ohio. In the
Terror Town, baby.
In the ass crack of Ohio, Terror Town. Technically June 3rd through the 5th, but
not for me.
There were some motherfuckers that got down there on June 2nd, the Day Zero gang. Both of these guys were there. I was not, because I left my house at 2 a.m. that day, which we'll get into later about why I didn't do some things. But yeah, you guys were there for Day Zero.
So it's like this. I showed up at like 3 o'clock in the afternoon because I only live 25 minutes from the fucking event. I know we had the shortest drive. I just want to point that one out. So we get there. There's nobody in the fucking parking lot. There's nobody there at all. And it dawns on us that we left our grinder at home. So she busts open her phone. That's my old lady, Casey, if you don't know. She busts open her phone and she starts looking for any close bong shop, anything that's close by. And we find a little shop that's like 10 minutes away. In the time that we had left to go fucking check this out, Whipstick goes out and fucking walks out on the parking lot and takes a fucking picture. He's like, "What's up with this Day Zero gang? No one's here." Motherfucker, I was there 10 minutes before you was walking around.
I did see that picture.
First and foremost, I want to point that one out. So we got there and everybody started arriving in as the afternoon started cooling off. And what are you, about 40 people all together on the first day, you think?
Something like
Give
that,
or take?
40, 50, yeah.
That's being kind of generous, and not everybody stayed in the parking lot that night.
And people came and went.
So first and foremost, shout out to fucking Weasel for supplying Subway sandwiches for all of us there. That was so badass. Thank you again so much. I think that's like the 8th time I've thanked him, but I'll continue to do so because it was fucking cool.
Deserved.
This was my favorite part. So we're doing a legitimate parking lot party. Nobody had said that we were going to do this, but it's kind of happening. We're all just kind of hanging out. And suddenly, come on now, you know, the blunts are starting to get lit up. But before that happened, the local cop who's going to be watching the area, pulls up. And I won't say their name because I won't out them, but somebody's like, man, do you think that cop's going to be cool? To which after I exhaled, I was like, I know he doesn't give a fuck about us. To which so much so that he didn't give a fuck about us, he took the Camp Xul family photo for day zero.
And I missed that. So me and Mike from Juggle of Judgment roomed with each other during the week, and we showed up. Briefly talked to a couple people we knew, and then left immediately because we did not bring bug spray with us. We had it at the hotel and got fucked up within seconds. Oh yeah. So we came and went, and then went back to the hotel, got our shit, and came back full prepared. In that window, the picture was taken. So we were there on either side of the picture, missed the picture, but yeah, we met some people, talked. The cops were cool.
Cops were really fucking cool. Everybody, most of the people who were involved in the first day, or in the 0 day, had already were veterans of last year. So it was like, it was me, it was Casey, it was Gooblo and Butts, Tony Wilbanks and his whole fucking posse was there. I'm gonna forget names, but there were a sizable amount of us who showed up to just kind of like chill in the parking lot. And the coolest thing, we didn't have to have a fucking concert. We all were just kind of like chilling and enjoying our time, hanging out with each other.
It was a nice segue in. It was like,
exactly. That's a great way to say it. It was for us who got there, it was a great way to prepare. Some cats went ahead and set their tent up in the parking lot because we'll get to this later.
Yeah, we'll get into that.
There was no camping, but we'll talk about that.
There was camping, but yeah, we'll get into that a little bit. Yeah. That was one of the. We'll get into some shit.
But that's the best way to sum up day 0. Everybody just kind of like did their thing in the parking lot till the sun came up, and then we started to mill about and ask questions. To which they finally told us we can't do shit until 2, so you all just gonna have to be patient.
Yeah, my days mall. I procrastinate like hell. So I was working till 7 a.m. technically day 0. So I slept till 5, and then I had to like get all my shit basically ready. So I left for Camp Xul at 2 a.m. the first day.
Jesus
so
Christ.
I got down there at like 5 a.m., 5:30 a.m.
Did it benefit you to leave in the middle of the night as opposed to just in the morning?
I love driving at night. I love driving when there's nobody on the road, 1 or 2 cars, and I'm just like, boom, not as many cops. You just boom, straight shot. I love it. That's part of the reason why I did it.
Gotcha. Okay.
And so I got there at like 5:30 a.m., 6 a.m., and I just post on Facebook like, where's the party at? So I go straight to the hotel. I think maybe I'll see some hooligans outside. There's nobody there. So I'm just sitting on my phone. I'm like, oh, looks like everybody's, at the fucking parking lot at Terratown. So I'll go over there. So I went over there, and then that was when I, started running into most of the day 0 gang. I think the first person I really ran into was John Weiland, the Crimson Chin.
Oh, how fucking great was it to see him in effect, man? Him and Joe Christie were tag team in this event with their fucking cameras.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I'll be probably putting photos that they've taken, and when we start talking about concerts, I'll put in some concert footage, probably from my homie Dan Galvin, Dan Columbus Underground. He provided the footage for me last year. So, I'll be trying to spice this video up with some flavor from.
So it won't just be our boring ass.
Yeah. So it won't be all talking heads,
Tune in, stay tuned.
Yeah. But yeah, and I kicked it with them. And like you said, it was waiting. And like what you just mentioned, one of the things that came up is like, where are we going to camp? And I told them last year, and they're like, yeah, but the grass is like up to our waist. Like
tall, it's about as tall as I am, and I'm 6'2", so it was coming up to almost my man tits.
Yeah.
The best way to put this was when we went there last year, it was in their season, so they had already knocked down all the parking they needed, and all this shit was. But it poured for like 2 weeks before this, so the area where we camped last year was a fucking swamp. It was not possible, and they had cleared out this little area, and they cleared out this little area, but they didn't anticipate how many of us were going to choose to camp, because they would only fit about 5 people tops. So they decide that they're gonna talk to everybody. They're gonna figure it out. They get a bush hog or something, and they get back there and they clear another area. most people have already started setting up in the parking lot at this point if they're camping. It finally gets to the point where we see the other area they cleared out, and it would have only added about room for another 5 more people. So it was finally decided, hey, you guys are already set up in the parking lot. You look like you're okay. Nobody's burning down anything. You guys are fine. Just go ahead and live here. So we did.
Yeah.
Like
it was
people were sectioning off nice little areas. My campsite consisted of me and my girl Casey, John Gublo, Robin Butts, Aaron Salen and his girl Holly, the homie Itty and his wife Tasha, and the old neck pissa himself and his girl Michelle.
Yeah,
We
so
had
it
a
was-
and my homie fucking Nasty Ink and his girl Amber. Such a dope fucking spot. We were straight up glamping. I bought a camping shower. They brought a straight up fucking grill and a flat top grill. We fed the campground. We fed some burgers and some hot dogs and some pancakes and shit. We were taking care of motherfuckers.
It's funny. I think his name is Jason Fersh. I didn't really.
One Eye.
I dapped him, but I didn't.
You
really
mean One
talk to
Eye?
him. Yeah.
Yeah.
I dapped him up, but I didn't really get a chance to talk to him. But he had like a hammock set up, like right where you went in to get tickets, like
Right beneath the shade. One
like
Eye wasn't fucking around, man. His shit was set up. He was comfy.
like a little patch of grass, and he had like a hammock just set up there chilling.
But that's the thing, bro. We were all, there was plenty enough room for everybody who wanted to camp to set up without encroaching on anybody's area. No, plenty of privacy.
Mhm.
And it was just so peaceful, so fucking serene, except for one dude with a fucking stage, but
Yeah.
fuck him.
There was also little rumors that they were going to open the doors early. They're like, oh, we're going to let everybody in at 11 o'clock. And then it was
Nope.
like, oh, that's just a rumor. We're not letting people in at 11. So I think they ended up letting everybody in around
2. It was like
around
2-ish.
Yeah.
But I think they were the line. It was funny because like the line was like, oh, hey, if you bought pre-tickets, you're over here. If you didn't buy pre-tickets, cash over here. Bro, I might as well have bought my tickets there because the line of pre-sales was long as fuck. And if you didn't buy tickets ahead of time, you could have just walked right up and bought tickets. Like, I think next year they need to have like 2 lines for people who pre-bought their tickets and only 1 for motherfuckers that waited to the last minute to buy their ticket.
I agree wholeheartedly. That's something that should definitely be looked into.
Yeah, that's the Airtown side of things, though. That's like how.
But that's that. And but before we go any further, those are minor gripes about these people. These are some of the coolest fucking humans I have ever been allowed to interact with. The actors and the people running the shit. That's just props to them right off the rip. Before we go any further, we'll continue to give them props, but I just had to get that out of there.
They're on-site vendors and stuff too, like the people making the food, the people selling their wares that are there all the time. Like everyone was super, super cool.
Yeah.
And boy, did they fucking love us.
Yeah. It was kind of like, I mean, they're still figuring shit out. And
exactly,
there are things that like, I'm going to offer a lot of constructive criticism in this because they're still figuring shit out. They're still figuring out like how they want to do it, how they want to do events. Because last year, I think there were some people that didn't like that there was like events that all overlapped one another. Like they did Q&As with concerts. This year, they didn't do that. This year, they just did straight events. Like you were there. So there was some overlap, but that wasn't on purpose. That was like,
and there was no second stage at all. Everybody played in the same fucking place. So if you missed the act, it's because you weren't in the saloon.
Yeah, the saloon. So it was inside this year. Everybody played in one place. So we get in the doors at like 2:30, 3 o'clock, and then no surprise, the merch line was the same as it was last year.
I didn't even fuck with it. I waited till the second day.
It was probably longer than last year. It was probably longer than last year. Like, and it did not move at times. It was just
so the
like
first chunk when we thought it was open, they hadn't opened it yet. So we were there for like 40 minutes just waiting for them to even open it.
And so while I was standing in that merch line, I missed my boy Keegan Grimm, but I've seen Keegan a bunch of times, so like it was a worthy sacrifice.
He killed it like he always does. It's Keegan.
Keegan's great. He's always cracking jokes on stage and shit. And I didn't completely miss him on stage because after I got my merch, I ran down because I knew who the next motherfucker was. It's the homie Dean, the big homie Dean, king of the monster shit. And I am
so happy I got to see Dean this year. We missed him in the first year because we were interviewing Fun Time, so I missed his set. it was so fucking dope to see this rockabilly pig god monster thing he's doing with him and fucking Lolly, dude. I love their whole stage presence. It is such a fun show, first and foremost. How about that?
Yeah,
Absolutely.
and he kicked it off really well because he had and it was a theme of the weekend, I think, was people stepping up them theatrics. Because he had like those like circus freak show banners in the background. He had somebody come out that had like something attached to him, like fucking attacking him and shit.
It looked like a ventriloquist dummy was attacking the ventriloquist, I think it was.
It looked like that. Yeah, I don't know if that's what it was. He also had fog machines, but they tripped all the breakers in the room, so they couldn't.
So they didn't get to use them.
So he couldn't use them.
But here's the thing, and Big Homie was bummed about that. He told me that, but I was like, dude, the set was fucking awesome without it. So next year, imagine how crazy it's going to be with it.
Yeah. And he was wearing his new mask from Ron Sambeal or Sam Bile. I don't know how you say his name, but that dude fucking kills it with the masks. That new pig mask
super dope.
is really crazy looking. Yeah, so I was really happy. I mean, I saw a set last year, but I was really happy to be able to get there to see his set again this year.
Yep.
Yeah, he killed it. So then after that,
what you were starting to say though was that he brought out Keegan during his set. So
he did. Yeah, he did. And they did their song. I think it's called Boogie on Down. I might be getting the name wrong.
Like Lay Me in the Ground, I think.
Hold on, I got the fucking album right here in front of me. I literally got it right here in front of me.
I think it's called Lay Me in the Ground. Oh yeah, I have it right here too. Poltergeist Dean. Here we go. Yeah, Lay Me in the Ground. Oh,
thank you. There you go. Points for Goon.
Yeah, actually, it's funny because before I like hit up Dean, and I was like, hey, you know, Keegan's gonna be there. Why don't you guys both do Lay Me in the Ground in person? He's like, oh yeah, we could do this. So I hit up Keegan. I'm like, Keegan, hey, why don't you do Lay Me in the Ground?
So orchestrating. All right.
There you go. Look at the Goon.
If I could bring that shit together, I'm gonna bring that shit together.
And that's something else you just brought in. There were collabs. There were so many collabs this year.
Bro, last year I harped on that every time I fucking possibly could.
Yeah, because it was so there. It was so easy to do, and you didn't.
I know. So this year, yeah, we're gonna get into that too. But yeah, I was really happy with the amount of collabs this year. I mean, there always could have been more, but hey, I'm happy they did it. Period. Yeah, that was dope.
Next up was my really good homie Nasty Inc.
Nasty
Inc. That's a brother. If you don't fuck with him, you're fucking up. It's not just horrorcore with him. He's got really good underground shit. Really good. Just check it out. I highly recommend it. He
did a collab on stage as well. Yeah, because he brought out
Stray from fucking Sky Swap Orange. And that track they did, Effortlessly Odd. That's gonna be a banger, motherfuckers. You go wait. We already heard it. You gonna wait.
Yeah. But he had his hype man, the new guy from Rehab Music, Clayface.
Yeah, that's that. I think he's going by 6, but that's my homie CJ.
Yeah. Yeah, he actually came up to me because he saw my review of the Super Show because I had a little bit of criticism for the group that he used to be in. I think they're called Damnation. He was like, I appreciate it. You know, the other guy didn't like it so much. But hey, that's the nature of doing this shit. You gotta piss some people off.
There's no way not to ruffle feathers.
Yeah. You know, like I said, but I mean, he took it like the way you should take it. Like you got to work on shit. But yeah, that was cool. It was cool meeting up with him again. But yeah,
the way I was thinking about those sets, like those early sets, is they kind of like laid out the different building blocks for what the week was going to be. Like,
bam, you got it right there, man.
Dean came with the theatrics and kind of laid that out, and then Nasty was like a party set, like a bunch of high energy shit. Like it just like kind of the shows kind of naturally built themselves throughout the day, which I thought led into the week.
And I also don't feel like anybody didn't bring their A game. Nobody was just on stage phoning it in. And that's all weekend.
Yeah. There was no reason to, I mean, the crowd brought it so hard, I feel like, that like you would have
even for the early cats who didn't have a bigger crowd. You're absolutely right. The crowd that was in there were fucking screaming their head off. Everybody was so ready for this fucking event.
Yeah. And knew the artists, I think, ahead of time that we're going to be there, maybe even from last year, and like spent time, doing the research and kind of learning the material and stuff. And it made the shows a lot better.
Absolutely. Who was next?
The newly signed Psychopathic Records artist. Sorry, I had to get that one in there. Zetro. And I I didn't see his set because
I
Nash's
caught
set
the last
was
3
like-
tracks because somebody said you should go in there and listen to this, and it was somebody whose opinion I valued. So I was like, all right, fuck it, I'm not doing anything. I had just finished the blunt I was smoking, so it was cool that I could move around.
Did you
He's
see it,
all right.
Robbie?
Yeah, it was all right. It was all right for me. I wasn't blown away, but he did his job.
I think there was like there was definitely attendance wise to like each of the shows, each of the people that are performing. It was obvious who, and I don't really like to use this word, but it's the only word I can think of to use it right now, caters to the Zooligan audience. The people who like put on for the Zooligan audience, it was obvious who did because they always had a room packed full of people. And the
I
people who
mean,
kind of like were
yeah.
on the side, like kind of had the room was not as full. I'll put it that way. Nice way to put it, I guess.
Yeah, but I think that's fair.
That's being polite. That's a good way of putting it.
Mm-hmm. I think it was obvious who people were like, oh fuck yeah, like
now
Michigan
I'm gonna
Misfits,
say I
Michigan
will
Misfits.
say this. I went and checked out some of his tracks that I'd listened to live on Spotify. It's good. I added some of it to my rotation. It's it's not something that I don't like.
Yeah, I mean, I'd heard of him because of when he did the Juggalo talent show, and he won with that that "We Don't Need No Guns" song.
When he goes,
yeah. Violent J was freaking the fuck out over him. That's when I heard him. And then when I said newly signed Psychopathic Records artist, that was because of the Yum Yum booklet. It said, shout out to the
welcome to the
signed,
team or whatever.
Yeah,
right?
welcome to Psychopathic Records. And I don't know what happened with that, but I think Zetro was like maybe a part of that tour as well because I saw he was playing one of the Underground Alliance shows.
Does that mean he's about to get the light treatment since he's working with the enemy?
I don't know, man, but I was surprised to see him there for that reason.
Yeah, no, for real. That was something that I was not expecting. But hey, good on the boys for fucking being surprising.
Yeah. But yeah, as I was saying, people who cater to the Zooligan crowd, Michigan Misfits came on next. I missed their set for some fucking reason. I don't remember why. I mean, I saw like part of it, I think, but I missed most of it.
How much old wrestling do you know?
Oh yeah, well, I know they came out when I first saw them. I didn't see the intro, so they looked like the Nasty Boys from what I saw.
Yep.
But I think they were supposed to be the Dudley Boys.
No, they did the Dudley. They did the Dudleys for a meet and greet.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, I did see because I saw them outside. I was like, bro, they look like the Nasty Boys up there.
It was pretty fucking cool. As somebody who knows what was going on, I marked out a little bit. I was like, oh shit, they look like the Nasty Boys.
Yeah. And having listened to a bunch of their music and being pretty familiar with them, I didn't know that there was a direct wrestling connection like that, or like that they were that into it. So seeing,
they're marks. They love pro wrestling.
Yeah, seeing the different cosplays throughout the weekend was cool.
We call Body Rot Dime Store Bray Wyatt.
That's all right. I also got to thank them for getting me high for the first time of the day because they just lit joints and passed them down.
Yeah, they were just passing bloods through the crowd. Like that was pretty fucking cool.
When they were on stage and they were like they were like, who's gonna get stoned or who's gonna smoke tonight or whatever the fuck. As soon as he said that, I was outside like on there's like a little pathway right outside the saloon where you can see inside. And I'm standing right there, and as soon as he said that, I just looked over like this, and the two officers started as soon as he said that, I was cracking up. I was like, oh, they didn't give a fuck though, like we said earlier.
No, for real.
But it was a funny coincidence that it happened. As soon as they said that, the two cops started walking up. I'm like,
can we talk about just a little bit of staleness that wasn't on our part, but it happened online? We did not fucking get raided. We did not get raided. Whoever started that rumor, your mom's a hoe.
Honestly, I didn't see that. I saw some other funny shit, but I didn't see the raided rumor.
I heard reactions to that rumor, but not the original one. But yeah, that could have been further from the truth.
No, the cops were having fun. They like us. Does that fucking bother you?
Yeah, everyone was nice. Like cops, audience.
You're gonna ruffle some feathers just from saying that the cops like us.
those cops like us. I can't speak for all cops.
Okay, yeah, those cops, the Terror Town,
like when you're
the
not
Williamsburg police were cool with us.
But yeah, next, I had to be in the room. I already had a little sneak peek. He'd already told me what it was, but Cody Manson, he told me
I was on stage for that.
Yeah, go into that.
Yeah, that was one of you. He told me what it was before in the parking lot before we went in. I was like, bro, if you pull that off, that shit's gonna look fucking wild.
Okay, so, before we talk about it, you just said if he pulls it off. Did we pull it off?
Oh yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah, it looked fucking great.
Awesome.
He had 2 people come out with like LSP flags, and they were standing at the 2 sides, and then he had 6 people carry a body bag in.
The 6 people were me, Jerry Vincent, Neck Pissa, Lincoln fucking Hatterworst, old Charlie Boy, John Gublo, I'm forgetting a name. I know I'm forgetting a name.
It happens. I'm gonna forget a whole bunch of people in this fucking review.
Doesn't matter.
And then talk to so many people, or like people are gonna be like, "Oh, is he gonna mention my name?" Sorry, bro.
Those are the cast that were on stage, and it was crazy because Cody made a post on Facebook like 2-3 weeks before camp. Who wants to help me with a stage set or something like that, or who would be interested in being involved? And I PM'd him. I was like, what you got in mind? And we started explaining it, and he was like, this is what I want. And he didn't tell us about the whole Jesus body bag thing at first. He just told us he wanted us to all dress in black clothes. At first he wanted hoodies, and I told him, I was like, bro, there's no fucking way.
Yeah.
My fat ass will die. That is not happening.
It was hot for hoodies for sure.
Yeah, so let me say what happened here. So he had 6 people carry a body bag out on stage, and then the one guy zips open the body bag, and Cody stands up covered in blood with a crown of thorns on his head.
Oh yeah.
And it was a fucking sick visual. Like,
yeah,
Joe Christie took some crazy photos. It was
really fucking cool.
It came off so perfect. And his set was almost entirely new music. He only played a couple of new things. He played Psychoactive. He played Gross that he did with Slasher Dave.
Yeah.
And then he did
also from the new one.
Purge at the end, which is like, I have that song makes me more violent than any song. Than any song.
That hook makes me want to punch through someone's face. When you start screaming, put him on a shirt, it's over, bro.
I'm an old man. Like, I don't like getting in the pit, but for that song, I was like, let's get moving.
Yeah, you started that pit.
I was a little bummed I couldn't be involved since we were up there doing our thing, but it looked fucking sick down there.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, that song gets me fucking riled up, bro. So,
and you had the mask doing the whole like grabbing your head thing and stuff. Like the visual element you added to it made it perfect.
Well, he told us he was like, if you think you're not doing enough, do more. He's like, if you think you're doing too much, keep doing stuff. Like, and I had to tell a couple of the other guys, I was like, do stuff. Don't just fucking stand there. Do stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But but it was really fucking cool to actually be asked to be involved in something like that. Like that's fucking history. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it came off really fucking well. And like the way he described it to me, I'm like, man, that's elaborate as fuck. Like, I hope you pull it off, and he did. It came off really fucking well. And like I said earlier with Dean and like the theatrics for the weekend, like Cody normally doesn't do super theatrical stuff. Like he'll do the Manson, the Cody or the Charles Manson sound clips and stuff, and he's done like, I think he's come out on stage with like a straight jacket and stuff like that. But that was definitely the most theatrical set I've ever seen him do.
Well, it's funny you mentioned that, because when we interviewed him, he had said that he was actually looking to ratchet that shit up in the future.
Yeah. Yep.
That's super cool. He did it. He pulled it off really well. And I think for someone who musically people wouldn't see as being like a real theatrical artist like that kind of shit just blends the two worlds of what he does with that stuff and takes it to a whole place. So I thought that was really, really cool.
I can't fucking wait to see where he goes with this.
Yeah, Camp Xul is the perfect place to like kick that shit off.
It is because we want that shit. We want that shit. It's so obvious we want that shit.
Yeah.
And I didn't know the homie, but I feel like I should say it here. Rest in peace, Coon. I didn't know him, but I know it was weighing
Same here. I have a lot of brothers who lost a brother. You know what I mean?
I know it was weighing heavy on Cody there.
Mm-hmm.
He left. He wasn't there Saturday because he went to the services on Saturday. So
oh shit,
I feel like I kind of need to put that in there. You know.
Yeah. Shout out to all the people who lost that dude. Like a lot of my close friends knew him, but I didn't know him.
Yeah, Wicked Threads.
Yep.
So yeah, all right. Next set was Scum and Insane Poetry, Triple MFD. That was another set that I didn't see because I was talking to the homie Brandon Philbrick, who was right across. I heard a bunch of it.
I never miss Triple MFD. Scum and Insane
great.
Poetry are such a force on stage.
Yeah, they might have had my set of the day just because their chemistry and all that shit, and bringing Cody up, bringing Donnie Menace up on stage.
That whole fucking LSP clique, man. When them boys are firing on all cylinders, it can't be touched.
And Psycho is just such a fucking good rapper. Like, I always am happy to see him in person.
I love that he's grown in his grandpa beard because it actually makes him more scary.
Yeah, Grandpa Horrorcore. He looks fucking awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Put your hands up. Hey, hey, put your hands up. Yo, Camp Xul. When you catch us out, I'm doing your body in the trunk. When we rolling through your we got a body in the trunk. Let's that motherfucking stand. Body in the trunk. We got a body in the trunk. Body in the trunk. We some contract killers. LSP, voice triple MFD. Masters on how to session voice. Random acts of violence and question in every aspect. Body in the trunk till we find out let's go cash it. Double matches, please. And we gon' talk about that. Put you out your legs on the back. You with the back. It's a motherfucking game. You gon' burn them at the same. Boy, at the summer game. So they never make no specializing up in the body up in the lane, boy. We see your shoes placed on. No escape for. This is what happens to victims right when it is expected. And because of our actions, I'll never leave naked. Ringing like a dead zombie with the phone. What's that motherfucking spin as a body in the trunk?
Yeah, I'll mention Psycho when we get a little bit later in, because there was something I was hoping was going to happen that didn't happen. But
I already know what you're going to complain about.
I already know. He wasn't even there that day.
Complain, I don't know. But yeah, okay. After Scum and Insane Poetry, Triple MFD was ABK. Anybody Kella. Like I said in my like preview video for Camp Xul 2, I was really excited that he was added to the roster, so to speak. So yeah, it was dope. Seeing ABK, obviously at Camp Xul. The only thing he did that I thought was funny is that motherfucker whoop whoop more than anybody did the entire weekend combined.
I mean, because he was, besides him and Blaze, that's the only real juggalos that was on the bill as far as artists are concerned.
Yeah.
But like, I mean, but you know what I mean by that, because there are a bunch of artists that were juggalos, but that's not what I mean.
ABK loves that shit, so
he does because that's fucking what made him fucking millions, you know. And he knows that we love him. But I'm gonna be honest, man. I was recouping from Triple MFD. I was getting high outside. I didn't see Killa's set. I heard it from fucking the chair I was in.
That was dope, man. That motherfucker was throwing out little
tubes
capsules of tubes of pre-rolls.
Fuck yeah.
He was just throwing out weed to people. I was like, hell yeah, bro. I mean, I don't smoke, but I grabbed one.
Did you hand it to me or did I find another one?
I think I gave mine to Logan.
Okay.
Or SON for the uninitiated. People always look at me weird when I say Logan. I'm like, SON.
For someone coming in from the West Coast where weed is just like, I could go buy it a block from my house right now at the store. I was not sure what to expect in Ohio as far as availability. So for 2 acts the first day to literally put weed in my face physically was a real treat.
Yeah, I think we're on the road to legalization, but we'll see.
It's an any minute now kind of thing.
So this is where, for me, I checked the fuck out.
Oh shit! You didn't because you didn't go on the trail.
Like I said, this goes back to the previous day. I was up since 5 p.m. the previous day.
Okay. All right.
Driving there from 2 a.m. to 5 p.m. So I was like, I knew the trail was there, and like I exited the building and I looked over there, and the line was long as fuck. And I'm like, I haven't slept since 5 p.m. the previous day. Do I want to go wait in this line? or do I want to go get some food, check into my hotel, and just fucking go to sleep? And I'm
I get you.
You know what? I just gotta get some food. I after hearing about what happened, I kind of regret it, but at the same time, I heard it was like an hour long. The actual trail was an hour long, so I'm like,
it was
No,
probably 20.
not really.
Was it?
But okay, so walking the trail itself was about 20, 25 minutes. Unless you had a bracelet. If you had a bracelet, then yeah, they're gonna fuck with you, and it was gonna take a lot longer. I didn't have a bracelet because I was dressed too fresh for them to fucking dump blood on me. So I thought.
Yeah, I was gonna say. Some people.
So I fucking thought. So the trail itself, I'd already walked the trail the year before camp to see what it was like, and then during camp, just because. So we're on the trail. It's doing its thing. It's fun. It's whatever. But when we get to the church, this is where everything changed.
Yeah.
So my group was Cass Norsverding, Alyssa, Aaron Salen, Holly, his girl Holly, me, and like 2 other people. Oh, and Axel, and the chick he was there with. So we come in through the door, and Billy jumps out immediately and scares the shit out of everyone.
Yep.
Fucking big boo immediately. And while I'm walking, I start to feel my arms are getting wet.
Yeah.
I don't know what the fuck's going on at first. I'm like, what the fuck? And you come around the pulpit, and Lee is standing huge over everyone. And he is just fucking in his cosplay mode, just preaching about the fucking glory of Xul. Joe is in full animatronic mode, as in not moving. I don't even think he blinked.
Just swinging his little.
Sounds like Joe. I mean, they've always said he's just an animatronic. So
yeah. So Billy tells us all to sit down, and he comes up and he has this fucking little gold chalice, and it is full of blood. And I'm wearing my 2.18 bit, and he literally puts his whole gloved hand in this, and he just smears it down my face, and then he fucking flicks it at me. And this is when it dawned on me why my arms are wet. It's raining blood
from the ceiling.
It's raining fucking blood. They had pipes or something. I don't know how they did it. I was not on psychedelics that day. This is totally sober. It was raining fucking blood.
I heard they had like a sprinkler system or something.
Yeah, that's what it was. It was the sprinkler system. But like at that moment, it was raining blood. It wasn't the sprinkler system. My whole fucking believability was so caught up in the shit.
I walked in and I noticed it was kind of wet, and I was like, oh, they put some water in here for some creepiness. And then looked down, I was wearing Converse, and the white parts were all red, and I was like, oh shit, this is something else. And then I had a full white hat on, and because I knew there would be blood and it would be a good souvenir, I didn't know it was going to be as extreme as early as it was going to be. And so Bill walked up and just looked me, right in the eyes and said, "Nice hat," and just plopped his hand of blood.
There it is, right there.
Yeah. So
hell yeah.
Just a big Billy Obey handprint of blood right on that hat. So yeah.
Everybody who they got their little bloodbath from Billy, whatever it was he did to you, because he did something different to basically everybody.
Yeah.
Including threw blood in my girl's eyes and got her on her contacts, including that. And somebody else. It happened to 2 different people's contacts. But anyway, after that, Joe comes alive and says, "Get the fuck out." Yeah. So we all get the fuck out. But as I was walking out, I screamed, "Praise Xul," and Lee threw the horns back up at me, and that was fucking awesome. I walked out. I walked past everybody who was in line. I was like, you have no idea what you're about to fucking experience.
Yeah, it was full on like music video quality, like atmospherics and stuff. And like meet and greets are very cool, and shaking people's hands and taking pictures is great. That was a perfect welcome to camp. This is what you're in for, motherfucker.
This was something whole nother, like you just said, man. Holy shit. And I get what you had to do, Goon, and I understand if you have any kind of buyer's remorse, but
I mean, hey man, I went, I got some Gold Star chili, I got some chili conies, bro, some glizzies. I was set, bro.
No complaints.
Like I mean, honestly, it doesn't bother me that I missed it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's cool to hear, but I'm like, at that time, bro,
you had to do what you had to do. I get it.
What I had to do. Yeah.
But yeah,
but
for
something
me, that was perfect.
That you like reminded me of, I guess, was that like pretty much every artist that we're talking about here, we're just walking around Terrortown
the entire time.
Yeah, like Xul and everything. Because I forgot to mention, like, pretty much right when I got there, Carver came up to me, and Carver I don't know what it is, but every time I go to a show or every time I see Xul, Carver always finds me. Carver's always the one that I fucking will shoot the shit with just for a little bit.
Mhm.
And they always find a good way to make you feel like you fit in perfect.
Yeah,
Like, I don't
absolutely.
know what it is. Like they have a way of talking with you and like just shooting the shit with you, and they notice the shit that you do. Like they like that video you did, or like I saw you made that post, or like you know what I mean. Like they notice all these little interactions that you have, and it's so cool. And I think I heard somebody else say that like I think it was actually on the Juggalo Judgment podcast that Robbie was on, where Mike said like, I don't want this to get any bigger. Because it's so
it's
like,
gonna. We have no
yeah.
choice about that. It's
like,
gonna.
what I'm saying is like he doesn't want it to get any bigger because it's so intimate, and
Yeah.
it's like they know your name, they know your face, they know you. You know what I mean? It feels like they actually know you.
They
So-
know our names. Shout out to Mrs. Leah Pettybones for the name tags.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
gonna give her as much credit as I can every time I can. She made them
Yeah.
last year. She made them this year. I love that being a camp tradition. It is one of my favorite things. I still got 2 over here.
And
But
there's
yeah, I guess
credit
the
to
point
her
of what
coming up,
what
too.
I was saying though is that like they were walking around. If you wanted to talk with them or just take a picture, you could.
You could.
It
Yeah.
wasn't
You
like they weren't hiding in the green room. They were like out there. They were having water balloon fights with people. Like they were out there. They were like squirting people with 6-inch maggot dicks, and like they were interacting with people.
Yeah, I mean, when I was
pretty
in
much
line
everybody
for
was.
merch right when it opened, Lee did a run by high fives of everyone waiting in the merch line, and then I saw him, a half hour later, like pushing whipstick in the pit and then running away laughing. Like he was very on the ground the whole time, and like that was just a personal.
Carver
touch you get
Carver
everywhere.
definitely was.
Yeah.
Also, shout out to Buckshot and his butcher shop. I thought that was
dope. I forgot about
really
that.
fucking dope.
He
It
had
was
like
very
a
cool.
trailer, but it looked like when I first saw it, I thought it was a food truck.
Me too. Me fucking too. Because all I saw was butcher shop.
Yeah, it says butcher shop, and then like if you looked real close, it said like mob style meats.
Yep.
And then it pulled up, and it was Buck's merch booth.
Merch. Yep.
It was really dope. It was
really cool.
Like,
And I remember even
very
back
smart,
to
very smart.
going back to like the 2016 gathering. He had a similar truck, not the same theming, but a different thing that I didn't even know who he was at the time, and was like, "This is fucking cool." Whatever this.
Yeah,
is.
that's something about Buckshot. Even if you don't fuck with his music, his merch game is more on point than almost anybody in the game right now.
Yeah, the fact
He's
that he
cool.
took his
cool
own
as fuck,
truck.
too. He's
Yes, he is.
cool
He
motherfucker.
absolutely is cool as shit.
Yeah,
I know a lot of people don't fuck with him because they don't like his music. I'm a fan of his music, so that's a whole other thing. But whatever.
But there's gaming night. I don't know if you guys did anything gaming.
I did not gaming night. I went back to my campsite and I washed the blood off of me in my camp shower, and I got really, 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 really high.
Yeah.
But speaking of Carver being on the ground, one of the cutest images I will say of all of camp was me and my friend Veronica were sitting on the kind of the opposite wall of the venue place where there's more benches, and just saw out of the distance this shadowy figure kind of hustle by with his little backpack full of magic cards. And that was Lee coming directly from bloodying everyone up at the church, hustling over so he could play a few games of Magic before the night was over. And
It's so funny. He goes from like being like a terrifying, Xul preacher to being a nerdy Magic the Gathering card player.
Yeah, it was so charming.
I just imagine his giant legs shuffling at speed.
Yeah, because he was late. He had to be there, and he was making a hurry. But it was very cute to watch. And then some people I knew were really into Magic and got to play. I don't think they got to play him, but near him, and they were very tickled by that. It was a fun thing.
It wasn't cute. It was brutal as fuck.
All right. Listen,
we're talking about Xul.
Day one was an absolute success.
Yes.
Everyone brought the fire. There was no way that this wasn't. This, like he said, this was a great way to get started.
Yeah, I went back to the hotel going like, wow, this was the day that was the sleeper day for me of the 3, and I can't imagine it getting more. Like it was already so fun. I can't imagine it going.
Oh yeah, Saturday was something else.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And just a side note, this is kind of funny. Before we started this recording, I was like, I only want the video to go about 45 minutes to an hour. It's
42 minutes. 42 minutes. You got some talkative motherfuckers on here.
And a packed 3 days.
So, all right, day 2. All right, this is where I'm gonna have some gripes, some criticisms, some suggestions.
Okay, Let's start it out then. You want to lead the pack?
Let me get the whole block here, okay? From 1 o'clock to 3:30, they did 3 different Q&A sessions. They did one with Tom, and Tom did like his podcast like live, which I think was cool. But then they had a Fun Time Guys Q&A, and they had a la Zululu Q&A. All right, cut that shit out. Cut it out. Like, you guys do Tuesday Night Terror every Tuesday. People ask questions, talk to you every single Tuesday, almost every single Tuesday. We don't need questions about, are you guys going to come to California? Bill, what do you use with your hair? We don't need any of that. Cut out the Q&As and do seminars. Yeah. Do seminars. Save all your little morsels of information that you kind of trickle out during Tuesday Night Terror and drop it on motherfuckers at Camp Xul. Like, can you imagine? And this was, I think I heard some people say this too. We didn't really get any information about the Mikey Clark record other than it's dropping this year.
Yep.
We heard about the LLE collab record last Camp Xul. So this year it really wasn't new information. Like, can you imagine how
you know it was going to be out this year?
No, but you could.
So that was new information, but it wasn't. Yeah.
You imagine how fucking dope it would have been if behind them they had like a big black banner. And they're like, hey, you guys want to see the cover to the new Mikey Clark record? Everybody's like, fuck yeah. People in the back, pull this shit down. There's the fucking cover. You don't even need to put the album name name on it. You give us the name of the record. Give us something, motherfucker. Like, there was like, so.
I skipped all of that shit because I had to set up my tent and my whole camp.
I skipped all of it because I knew I was there last year and I knew kind of like how
what it was going to be.
I knew kind of how it would go. Like, if you did a seminar, you would pack that place. People look forward to the seminar at the gathering as much as they look forward to the performances.
Yeah,
like, the
you're not wrong.
Is a big fucking deal. Make that a big deal at Camp Xul. You know, like, make people like regret that they missed it. Like, make people like fucking do everything they can to get to that shit. Like,
I ran back in time for the family photo. That's kind of what I was there for.
I saw the family photo. That's what I saw. Yeah, I got back. That's when I came back because they did the Twiztid meet and greet,
which I also skipped because
I'm not a huge meet and greet guy.
And it's like this. Let's be honest. It was fucking hot.
Yeah, that's the other thing of it. It was
hot for waiting in line
as fuck. Yeah, it was hot as balls. That's for damn sure. It was the opposite of last year.
Absolute opposite.
Cold, you're freezing your butts off. Now you're like fucking sweating your ass off. So it was.
So having gone to all that stuff, it seems like I'm the only one who was at all of it. I will
first year,
right there. First year.
Rookie mistake going to the Q&A right there.
I would have gone to it year 5. I love that kind of shit. I love podcasty, talky shit. So, but I will agree that the Q&A format was a little awkward because of the way that Xul presents their information typically.
Well, I said this last year. If you're going to do the Q&As, have a moderator.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Have somebody there that's going to ask questions, even if you write them the questions. Like, have them ask questions and then have them go, hey, do if you guys got a question, raise your hand. And then they could be like, okay, have them pick out people. Like, I don't know.
And I think Xul has set such a precedent already that the way that they divulge information is very much on their terms when it's time. And so I think everyone went into that space looking for answers about things like V5, the Mikey Clark record, what's coming up.
And they didn't get shit.
Right. And they didn't want to ask the questions because they were kind of ready for them to, here's what we're dropping on you. So then when they went to ask, who's got questions, people were a little clammy because they were kind of just waiting for the big.
Hearing about Night of the Hooligans was cool, though.
Oh yeah, for sure.
That was probably the biggest announcement that came out of the whole thing was Night of the Hooligans.
Yeah.
And the one tidbit that hasn't been discussed really that I thought was interesting is that someone asked if Mikey Clark would have any involvement in Venomous 5, and because they've been saying that there's a new entity helping with it, they said no, but someone who they've worked with closely in the past would be. So it kind of hinting maybe Slasher Dave's working on that project.
Yeah. That could be cool.
That'd be fucking awesome.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna say what I was gonna say, but yeah, that'd be dope. It's just a joke. But so there was the Q&As, which, like I said, just make them goddamn seminars, bro. Like, you'd make everybody want to fucking show up. yeah, I just think that would be the way to go in the future. For reference. Yeah, and then like we said, the Twiztid meet and greet. I know Robbie went to that because I mean he runs fucking Twiztid History. Like, come on now.
But even that being said, I'm not a meet and greet guy like you said. I
What
find
was their
painfully awkward.
what was their overall feelings for camp? Like, did they seem like they were having a good time? Did they
Yes.
seem like?
Yeah, I mean,
They seem
just seeing them
so-
on stage, it looked like.
Well, hold on, we hadn't got to that yet.
Yeah, well, I mean, it comes
as
up
far
next.
as far as shaking hands and stuff go, they seemed really stoked to be there, really happy. Just generally, I think they were probably a little tenuous or whatever going into it. They didn't, because it's not their thing necessarily.
Mhm.
And I think as soon as they got on the grounds and started talking to people, it was very clear that everyone was on their side, or like everyone was happy to have them there.
And there was such a conversation of what's happening after the meet and greet. Why is it only 20 minutes? What's it going to be?
Yeah.
Is it V5? Is it this? Is it that? Motherfuckers, it was one of the doper little Twiztid performances I've ever seen. And here's the really cool thing. It was an opener set.
Yeah,
They opened for V Sinister.
After the Twiztid set, or after the Twiztid meet and greet, there was the Forever Face family portrait, which Joe Christie took in the Pit Promotions. He got up on the little fucking gallows and took a big. You'll see the picture. I'll put it up here. Of everybody standing there. But yeah, then everybody that was standing there for that went straight into the saloon because Twiztid
We packed
did
it.
a really fucking dope 20-minute set, greatest hits.
Hit all the fucking boxes, man.
Secondhand Smoke, Die Motherfucker Die, Raw Deal. They played all like the fucking classic shit. And it was really fucking dope. And
Super
people
cool.
were fucking rocking out. Like Carver was out there fucking rocking
Yep,
out.
Lee was in the crowd because he
Yeah.
they came out.
They
The
announced
boys
it.
came out and said this is one of our favorite fucking bands ever. Lee said it was his favorite band.
Yeah, my favorite rap group of all time. And then Billy, and Joe agreed or nodded, but I think Lee really wanted that to be known that this means something big to him.
Mm-hmm.
And it was and like I said, it was so cool that they opened day 2.
Yeah.
They opened. This is weird because this is the only time in history the show will ever happen. Twiztid opened for V Sinister, which V Sinister. I was excited to see him because I had originally seen him back in like almost 20 years ago at this point.
Yeah.
Like,
Help me with this. V Sinister was the guy that had the Virginia Beach Cop song, wasn't he?
I don't know.
He's from Michigan, so
Okay, I'm thinking of somebody else then. Okay.
Yeah, but like, what was it? Hunting Season that he released? Was like an overnight release on Psychopathic Records.
Yeah,
like,
he was the
way
first
back
person
in the
to
day.
win a contest with Psychopathic to put something out.
And so yeah, I'd followed him from way back then, and I hadn't listened to his music in a long ass time. So I was like, hey, it's dope. He's on here. Get to see him. His set was okay. I think he had a couple songs that were like weird because like I think they would have been better if the crowd knew the songs. Like he had this song that was like "Kill the Witch," and he just kept saying it like over and over and like pointing like this, and it was a weird song to perform live.
I thought it was cool, but it was definitely like crowd participation would have
Yeah.
less awkward or whatever.
Yeah. If the crowd had stayed there from Twiztid, it would have been dope. But
Yeah, that wasn't gonna happen though.
yeah, the crowd had dispersed. But yeah, I mean, it was dope seeing V Sinister. Like I said, he's an old school motherfucker in this scene. So it was dope seeing him come out for Camp Xul too.
Yeah, he's.
I wish I could have said something to him. I didn't get a chance. I mean, it was Camp Xul. Like I said last year, this shit's fucking wild. Everything's going on at the same time.
Yep.
Yeah.
But after that, everybody fucking piled in for the old boys down at Sky Swamp Orange.
Yes.
Yeah, they fucking.
They had a coming out party at Camp One. And I missed their set because I was on stage proposing.
Yeah,
to
I missed it because of you, motherfucker.
You didn't have to be there. I had to be there. You didn't have to be. But
you definitely had to be there. I mean, you could have had Max give her the ring, be like, "Hey, will you with that?"
I don't think that's gonna work. But anyway, so they came out, and like the anticipation for this was so you could feel it in the air
100%.
because Odium has just been basically if you're not listening to it, you're stupid.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like we had talked about it a little bit earlier in the day, or maybe even the day before, Luke. But you would ask, who was really popping that I would have put for like someone who are
you looking forward to?
Yeah, and that was number one, and it blew me out of the water even with that, because having listened to that album for a month already, by the time they had played and all that stuff, like I wasn't prepared for it.
No, not at all. Even though I knew what was coming, I still wasn't prepared for it.
I think they didn't have, wasn't it their original drummer? So they had a different guy.
Yeah, fucking Hunter couldn't come, so they had this other guy fill in, Larry, and Larry fucking killed it.
Was he Nighthawk? Wasn't that his name, Nighthawk?
I just remember Larry.
Conversation, bro. I had a drunken conversation with Stray outside of the fucking saloon. I don't remember that night, something like that. And he had this motherfucker, and he was just being a superstar. And he was telling everybody he didn't have a name, so he just called himself. I think he was calling himself Nighthawk or some crazy shit.
Yeah, yeah. I'm pretty sure his name is Larry.
Larry or Nighthawk?
Your pick. But
yeah, their set was fucking.
They fucking killed it. The pit was unbelievable.
Jumped out in the crowd, got into the pit as the songs were going on. Novels with the screams.
Yeah. You were talking about Ronnie jumping in the pit. I rolled him like a joint.
And he
tumbled with it.
Yeah, he knew what to go with the moves to keep the guitar going, and
he didn't miss a fucking beat.
Nope, not one. And it was perfect. Like I saw him literally get checked and then roll off and then just keep playing. Didn't miss a note.
Stray jumped out there with us. It was so awesome. I was a little pissed there weren't more people. I will say that if we want to talk about complaints, I felt like,
but there weren't
there should have been more. There should have been more. They deserve way fucking more than that.
Yeah. I agree.
And it's probably a thing where there will be next year. It's just their status there is
because the same thing happened with who we'll get into later, Slasher Dave. Last year he didn't have a whole lot of people there. This year it was a pretty big crowd for Slasher Dave. So I think that we'll experience the same thing next year. Plus the record will get out more. People will get to digest it a little bit better. More people will be promoting it. More people will see it. So I think next year definitely will be, because they probably will be at Camp Xul 3.
I feel like they should be at every camp.
Yeah. There's a couple artists that I think should be at every camp.
LSP for every camp.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's a handful of people that just it would seem like weird without them almost.
Yeah.
Yep. So who was next?
Donnie Menace.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Donnie's such a bad motherfucker. He is a way better lyricist than this scene deserves.
Yeah, well, people don't know is he used to be a battle rapper, bro. That's crazy shit that I've seen.
Sort of famous for that, right?
Yeah, he's a killer. He started out as a battle rapper, and that's why anybody who wants beef with him, it's a bad idea.
Yeah. Yeah, he's cool as fuck too. So
such a dope dude. Every time I've ever had a chance to talk to him, from the Super Show to Camp One to when we interviewed him, he is such an awesome dude.
And another guy who was there all weekend, not even the day he was performing, but literally every single day,
just hanging out and chilling.
Happy to be there.
Didn't he have somebody come on stage? I'm trying to think. Did he?
He came out with
Squatch didn't come. I don't know if he had anybody or not.
There, yeah. Okay.
I can't remember.
I'm trying to think. Maybe we forgot. Maybe he did. Maybe he didn't. I don't know. I don't remember. But there
were
a lot of
came out with a couple people, but I don't think he had anyone come out with him.
Perform. Yeah. So yeah, and then after Donnie Menace was Straight Jacket, who I didn't see.
I watched from the corner because I was hot as shit and I had to cool off. But it was a dope set.
Yeah, there were a couple like DJ type sets where I was just kind of like, but Straight Jacket's cool as fuck. So.
I didn't know he was a full-on rapper. I thought he was just a producer.
Yeah.
He's got albums and stuff. He's
I feel stupid. I really feel dumb because it was some pretty good shit. I was like, wow, I've been missing this.
Yeah.
I think he's just way more famous for his production. Or
for some people, it's like that.
Yeah.
Brian Foster's a hell of a rapper, but everybody knows him for being the We Are Media guy.
Yeah. He was there too. I ran into him the last day. I was like, what the fuck is up? Which is something we'll get into that was secret that I didn't find out until like after it was over.
I was there for it.
Yeah. Okay. Well, after Straight Jacket, we got to get into this one because it's gonna get good. Mr. Fams and the Hooligans, motherfucker.
Yes.
That set was fucking dope.
Absolutely.
Like that was they had one of the biggest crowds. Like there were a couple performers who like got basically everybody they could, and Fams was one of them. Like they fucking packed that place.
Hardest pit of the whole weekend besides Xul, and one of the probably the second best set besides them.
And outside of maybe like Twiztid or ABK, the first big sing along of the whole event.
Yeah, because they performed.
4-tempo.
They started 4-tempo, and I was like, hell, I know all the words to 4-tempo.
Bro,
I was like, yeah, and then I see Whip run up like into the crowd, and I'm like, oh,
he jumped into the crowd with me. He threw his arms around me, and we were fucking singing the fucking hook and shit.
Yeah,
it was so cool. We have video of it. It was so dope.
And so Fams had like this will come in later, deer hunter makeup on his face.
Yeah, hold on. Think about this too. That pop was like fucking almost like a pro wrestling pop. When they hit the chords for fucking 4-tempo, the whole crowd knew what was happening.
Well, Fams knew too because he's looking out of the crowd smiling. He knew that shit was gonna fucking hit. Everybody was singing it. It was so fucking dope.
And when Whip ran up into the crowd, I was like, oh shit, okay, so they're not going to go up on stage, I guess, to do it. That's a cool choice.
You thought?
Yeah,
right?
You were wrong, motherfucker. But what happens is they hit an interlude, and Fams walks off stage, Keeper comes down, and they start handing out little communion things. There were like these little hourglass. There it is, right there with the 2-6 on it.
Hold on. It's communion. It's the body and blood of Fams.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
White Trash Pope.
Broke a little bit off for you. So, White Trash Pope. He comes out on stage, full Papa Emeritus, Pope, all poped out and shit. It
says WTP down his hat.
Yeah, it was so fucking dope.
We did the blood of the lamb.
Yeah, and then they fucking rocked it, and then we heard 4-tempo kick up again, and they fucking came back.
Outcome 8 legs and fucking whip stick.
They outcome and they performed their verses. I was like, hell, fucking yeah.
Which was, and the thing is, we cheered even louder when they came out.
Yeah.
Everyone was already primed on being stoked about that song, so then it was like, whoa, welcome back.
Yeah.
And I have to also point out, I don't remember. I'm pretty sure it was during In the Blood of the Lamb. Me and my homie Nasty, we formed up the Nasty Jew. I threw him up on my shoulders, and we rocked it in the middle of the pit like we do.
I like that name, Nasty Jew.
I said we're like a special ed Voltron.
Yeah. After Fams, Buckshot.
I checked a couple of bucks set. He was cool. I had to cool off. I had to rest. I'll admit it. I didn't watch.
Like, there were a couple times where like somebody rocked the fucking set, and everybody was like, "Oh, I gotta chill, bro," because it was hot as fuck. On top of that, so I think Buck is kind of chill anyway.
Yeah, Bucks. Like, I mean, it's if you've seen one Buckshot set, you've seen them all.
Yeah, I mean they're good, but
I'm no disrespect.
Yeah. So yeah, Buck always does what the fuck Buck does. Killed it. I think he talked about like his last year and shit. So yeah, it was cool to see Buck again. But yeah, then the headliner of the night, super famous Fun Time Guys.
How cool is it that they closed out the night and Twiztid opened for them?
Right? Yeah, that is pretty crazy too. I mean their set was
Super fun.
It was dope. Played a bunch of the new shit. They played like a bunch of their closer songs too. They played with a little bit of.
Yep.
Any song that could be a big sing along, they played, and
we got Crawl Space featuring Crawdaddy himself.
Yeah.
Dude, last year that was one of my criticisms. Like, bring out Lee Carver for Crawl Space. This year they fucking did.
And
So,
he killed it.
There you go. Hooligans wishes.
Happy Goon
command. Yes.
Happy Goon.
Hooligan wishes the killer's command. There we go. So fucking happy they did that shit.
Give it up for Lee Carver! So familiar!
I mean, it was dope to see Carver come out and do that shit. And then they ended it with Positive, which is like pretty much my favorite super famous song.
And in the first, it was the first time they'd ever let the crowd take over doing a sing along.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And they carried it. I mean, it was, everyone knew that song and was super fucking ready for it. So
yeah, it's so cool to see how fucking big these boys are getting from this shit, man. Like I love, like, the Super Show was dope, but seeing this camp set for them was just like, it was so cool.
Yeah.
It's been a big fucking year for them.
Yeah.
And I'm so glad they did it the way they did it, instead of like having Twiztid close or something as a surprise. Like, let these guys fucking close it.
Exactly.
It's their scene, it's their place.
Because it also gives a throwback to the Gathering when Twiztid would close one night and ICP would fucking close the next.
Yeah, totally. And it was very just like, these are our guys. This is you know,
this is LLE.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that happens big time on Sunday night, but
yep.
Yeah, so this night I stuck around until pretty much the end.
I hung around for karaoke. There were some people that really killed the karaoke. Mostly I was just kind of like just enjoying the trips.
Yeah, did you hear Leah Pettybones doing that fucking gangsta
Killers? Yeah.
Yep.
That shit was dope as fuck. Zula Granny did some fucking
that Granny's such a beast. She did she always does Enter Sandman, but she also did a Wicked Game by Chris Isaac.
I just remembered I want to make sure I mention him. Dylan Ziegler, saw that motherfucker. It was dope as fuck to finally see Dilly again.
Dilly's the best, man. Dilly is so cool.
I remember because when she was playing End of the Sandman, I looked at him and I was like, "Where's Sandman at? Is he up in the crowd? Is he up on the stage?"
But like but that's something else though. That's an attraction in and of itself. Seeing all these homies that you've missed all year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Or like meeting
new homies. Yeah, you're exactly right. I'm actually kind of bummed I didn't run into you.
I know we were near each other almost all weekend on the floor, but like just didn't talk.
if Goon will tell you I'm a space cadet, I'm never really there.
Yeah, same. Yeah. I mean, I'm just in my own head watching shows, so same, but
yeah.
But even just to be like, I mean, I've watched so much Pics or It Didn't Happen. And
dude, thank you. That's fucking awesome. Thank you.
See you doing your thing, and then just to meet Luke after we've done a bunch of shows together and stuff. It was very much like reunion-y,
Yeah,
it was.
I didn't tell the story, but when I was standing in the parking lot, I looked over and I saw Robbie and Mike walking up, and they looked like tourists to a fucking T. Robbie had like the knee-high socks on, and he had like this water bottle strapped across his chest. He had that hat on. He looked like he was at Niagara Falls. He looked like he was at Niagara Falls gonna take pictures.
Hold on. If we want to talk about camp rookies, Joey Black called out Cam. Called him a camp rookie in front of everybody.
Goddamn Camp Roachie.
So that was night 2. So much mingling was happening. Like that was really everybody being social and shit.
That was party night.
Saturday night was like the chill, party night. They were playing Sleepaway Camp. They played 1 and 2, and I think that's all they played. I definitely saw 1 and 2.
Yeah, it was cool. It was cool. They had a little Blood Moon drive-in for everybody.
Yeah, yeah. I sat down and watched a little bit. Got up, looked in there because I think SON did Burning, and then he also did Tilt-A-Whirl. I think.
Yeah.
Or something like that.
Him and his
When
homie
he
did
was
Tilt-A-Whirl.
doing Tilt-A-Whirl, literally the person I was standing with was like, "Are they playing?" Like they thought they were literally playing Tilt-A-Whirl like on Spotify on one of the playlists, and I'm like, I don't know who is in there. We went in there and it was fucking SON and Colby fucking rocking out with Tilt-A-Whirl. That shit was dope.
Yeah.
I was going up to do Matchbox 20. And they went right before me, and I literally walked away. I was like, I can't.
Yeah, you're like, oh no,
this.
fuck it.
And then my friend that I was hanging out with, shout out to Stacy, who will probably never see this, but she was like, "What? You're not going to go up because of what?" And I was like, "All right, fuck it." And I went up, tore it down, and did great. So I can't,
Oh, I heard you. I was sitting in the corner smoking a blunt.
Perfect.
Yeah, next year I'm gonna rope Brandon Philbrick into doing it. We're gonna do something that's gonna be fucking dope.
Yeah,
I need to get somebody
really
up there to do My Addiction with me, but I get to do Monoxide's.
I don't want to reveal what song because I'm afraid somebody will take it.
if somebody takes it, I got to back up.
But yeah, that was the end of night 2. Like you said, it was kind of a party night. It was a pretty wild night of sets too. You know, kicking off with Twiztid, then ending with Super Famous. Like, yeah, it was pretty wild.
Absolutely. Here's my complaints. This is my complaints about the weekend. I hate that there's nothing to do between fucking waking up, because we're all camping. We're all waking up at like fucking 10:30 in the morning, and there's nothing for hours. We're all just sitting out in the sun baking. Even
when you take a break from seeing somebody set, that was one of the things that I heard. I think I liked the chaos a little bit more. Like, I know it's a give and take, but I think I like that feeling of like there's always something to do, or areas where like if you're not watching a set, you're kind of just kicking it with people, which is cool too. But there's something that I heard. I don't know if it's true, but Bill, I know you're watching this. I think it would be dope where I'd heard that Bill wants Hooligans to put on events like they do at the Gathering.
We've talked about that, and he's mentioned that on Tuesday Night Terror and a few things.
Good. I think that would be dope.
We'll be the ones who decide what Camp Xul does when Camp Xul's not happening. Like the parking lot party, they put that all on us. They told us to do whatever we wanted. They said they don't want to do a costume contest this year, but if somebody else wants to, they can.
Can you imagine if, like we said, we did like a Catacombs Picture It Didn't Happen party, and we like took over the church, and we had like SON do a seance, and then have, like, Cody Manson.
That would be the coolest fucking thing ever, dude. If you don't fucking tease me, Luke. That would be so badass.
I'm not teasing you. I'm teasing Bill right now.
Don't play with my emotions.
But yeah, like that would be cool. Like other people could do, like parties. Like you could have the Twiztid History Trivia Night where Robbie has like Twiztid questions, and like you write down your answers, and fucking then he's got like a little trophy for you.
Well, I mean, they pretty much said if we want it, we make it happen. So that's how we have this shit happen, bro.
They just need to give us the tools to make it happen, to work with, like, give us something where we can like work with Terrortown about like a spot or location, and then work with them and figure out what we can do. Like, I think that would be really fucking dope.
Because that fills that space from like fucking 11 o'clock to like 3.
Yeah, like we could do late night parties and shit. You could have like DJ Rascal, my homie John Allen, who didn't make it. He could do have a DJ party.
He was missed. He was very missed. There was a few people that were missed.
Jared Savage. Yeah, that would be the other thing I would love to see. Bring in I know they got to get insurance and stuff, and I don't know when that could be. But if they did wrestling, that would be really dope as well.
Yeah, people would watch that too.
Jared Savage, Billy Knox, bring in the motherfuckers and throw a little bit of a wrestling match or something like that as one of the events. That would be pretty cool. I know that's probably like something down the line when they get insurance, the event becomes bigger, but it's another cool possibility. But yeah, that was kind of something I was going to mention at some point. But yeah, this year there was a little bit more downtime than in previous years. And like you said, like after hour show would be cool too.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. June 5th, Sunday was kicked off with this was actually the one day I got there early, but not because of the first thing. They kicked off with the meet and greet with Long Live Evil, which
skipped it.
I skipped it as well, but I heard that they got to everybody this year because last
They
year
did. They
last year
literally
got
waited
zero.
for everyone, and I think that's the coolest thing I've ever heard.
Yeah, I don't know if I said the offer on air, but they scheduled it to go to 2:30 and they pushed it past 4, I think, just because they weren't going to turn anybody away. I thought that was really, really cool.
Yeah. Well,
As
I
someone
got
who's
there
been turned
early.
away at the gathering meet and greets,
Yeah.
I was after like a 3-hour wait. I was.
That's
very,
what happened
very
last year. They had to turn people away last year, so I think this year they kind of felt bad about it last year, and they're like, you know,
that was my mindset since I had gotten last year's. I was like, I'm gonna let somebody else get in line. Plus, my hotel bed was really, 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 really comfortable.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna bullshit.
Yeah, well, that day I was rooming with pretty much the entire Legion crew was in my room.
I bet that smelled awesome.
Yeah, well, you know,
right, because they got in late. That's right.
They're cleanly people. They SON. I keep wanting to say Logan. SON was like, yo, I got to get a good merch spot. I got to beat Johnny Richter down there. So we got down there as fast. He got a pretty good spot too. We had the pool table right there. So I was sitting there at the SON table for all the way up pretty much till after his set. So I saw all these artists by default.
I skipped a lot of the artists on day 3. I was doing a lot of recuperating.
Yeah. That was the other thing, is that like by the time Xul went on, everybody was fucking spent. Because not only because of the performances, but because it was hot as fuck. So everybody's burning up and like it was. I know I was spent, but there was a little bit of. I think everybody got a second win before Xul went on.
Oh yeah, absolutely, especially when that blood came flowing.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna put Devious T. I don't remember his set very much. Jay Villain,
like they were the openers for the Underground Alliance.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So they came with Johnny Richter. And,
yeah, that's why. That makes sense now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Jay Villain. I don't remember his set very much.
If you're an Ohio person, you know Jay. He's pretty cool.
Yeah.
He's been around. He's signed to ABK's label.
Okay.
Yeah, like I said, I was working SON's table. And then Stack Styles, I remember because he had a super West Coast sound. Like he must have came with Johnny Richter because he was pretty dope. I mean, he was kind of doing that what the fuck do you call it? That like double time stuff.
Yeah.
Which I'm like not really huge fan of, but I thought he was pretty good.
Yeah, I was in line for all that stuff still for the fucking meet and greet.
Yeah.
So
but then 410 Diabolic the Monster.
Before Diabolic went on stage, I went to the church and I got to be involved in the confessions.
Yes, that was something that I mentioned just a little bit previous, is that there was like and I missed it, but like I think it was cool that there was something that was going on that was like kind of whispers, like you had to know about it, you had to hear about it from somebody, because
I told as many people as I could. Brian walked past and we know each other a little bit, and I was like, what's going on? He's like, we're gonna do confessions in the church, tell everybody. I started telling as many fucking people as I could.
Yeah, I didn't see him until like 5:30 or so. He must have been done at that point. He was flying a little drone around when I saw him.
Oh, that's whose drone that was.
Yeah. Yeah, Diabolic came on.
Diabolic never disappoints.
Yeah, he actually had a funny song. I thought it was funny. He performed like "Burn the Church." I was
kind
of an interesting.
Right over there.
It's kind of an interesting place to play that song. But yeah, it was cool as fuck. He was actually not sure how many people noticed it, but he was rocking the gold Catacombs charm.
I seen it. I definitely noticed it
at the end. Yeah, so it was cool to meet him again from previous year, because he also played. He's a Camp Xul veteran as well. And yeah, people were fucking amped for his set as well, I think too.
Yeah, he was great.
Yeah, it was cool seeing getting to see the big homie again.
Yeah, he definitely killed it.
Then obviously the big set for me, SON goes on, and not just for me, he had a fucking big crowd that came out too.
Fuck yeah, he did.
Yeah,
we brought the fucking thunder, bro. That pit, we had a wall of death.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We had a wall of death at Camp Xul. We literally moved ourselves. He said, everybody on this side, everybody on that side.
Yeah.
Go.
I haven't been involved
I think
in something like
that
that
was
in 20 years.
I think that was for. Was that for the Mouth of Madness? No, it wasn't the Mouth of Madness. It might have been the bridge when the beat drops on the bridge.
Yeah, I
No,
think
don't
you're
remember.
right.
Yeah, I don't
I
remember.
can't remember.
Yeah.
But once again, I got to get on stage for the second time
Yeah.
this year and the third time altogether. He
Yeah,
pulled the hive up. We were all out there fucking
We were all
rocking
up
out.
there, yeah.
When I was on stage, I was like in the middle of the stage. I was like worried that stage was gonna collapse.
Yeah, it was a lot of there was a lot of big old bodies up there.
There were like probably at least 20 people up there.
There's a
more
lot
than
of
that.
people up there.
You couldn't fit anybody else on the stage. Let's put
Yeah.
it that way. Like the stage was like full of people. Full of people.
For this last track, we are all one. There are no lines between me and you. I need everyone in the crowd to join me on this stage. Let's go. Can everybody join me up here? Welcome to the high.
Fat ass can't get up there like that. Fuck off with that.
Washing the blood is one we got one. Cleanse on the fire, it can't be undone. Collectively see through the same mind's eyes. The sky opens wide in the old balanced skies. Any who oppose the high was swallowed whole. Is for where their soul goes. Well, nobody knows. We are the body of the chosen. The owners of the seraphim identify the high by the sulfur sigil branded in. We've all felt pain. We've all wanted down. Now we've all found a home where we'll never go without. Once we all awoke until he put us back together. Stronger, faster, smarter, better. One mouth speaks with the number of 4 tongues. Singing hits of the game.
But yeah, that was dope. That was like a real like
That was another one of those all-time great sets from fucking
sure.
SON.
yeah. And like I said, like staying with them and everything for the whole weekend, it was like extra special for us, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
to be involved and to see everybody respond to the shit that way was really fucking cool.
I was throwing out legions all weekend. Every time I seen him, even when my voice was blown out, I was like, Legion.
And even more magical moment happens here coming up. But yeah, so SON went up, and then I skipped all these.
I came back for Blaze. That's what I'll admit.
Yeah. Well, no, I came back for Sasha Dave because Sasha Dave came on before.
Yeah.
Blaze.
I think so. There was what after SON?
DJ Swamp,
Right.
DJ Swamp, Chucky Chuck, and Johnny Richter.
And I think they had like a group set together.
I haven't listened to the Kings in fucking years, so that's what it is.
Saint was the Kings to me, bro. So it's like after Saint, passed away, rest in peace, Saint Dog. It's kind of like
it is what it is.
Yeah.
But yeah, I miss Slasher Dave because my role was kicking in and I needed food.
But yeah, like we said, let me go over DJ Swamp. Yeah, I think I already went over it a little bit. Yeah, I didn't see any of their sets.
Nope.
I saw the Johnny Richter Chucky Chuck set, and it was fun. I didn't know a lot of the songs because I don't know KMK past 2003 probably.
Yeah. Same.
But
Real
one of
Highness.
the cool moments was they did the lottery, and just watching Diabolic run into the room to rap along with it was super fun.
Yeah, that is pretty dope. But that says something. There were so many artists who were fans of people who were performing. Totally. There were so many artists that were in the crowd during performances that like you couldn't help but get one-on-ones with these people.
Yeah.
Right. And it was just the line between performer and fan was
really blurred. Real fucking thin.
How many people were in there for them, Robbie?
It was less than SON, more than some of the earliest people of the day, probably. So it was like it was pretty clear that they were not the fan favorite, but that there were people that
which
were there
goes back
that
to
were
what I
excited.
was saying earlier about Zetro, like the people who like definitely cater more to the hooligan audience
had bigger crowds.
Yeah, well, I would even say,
I mean, that makes sense.
That they cater to it as much as the Zooligan audience has kind of picked their favorite artists over the years.
Yeah. Like I said, cater is a weird word. I don't really like to use cater, but it's the only word I can think of that matches.
Because no one was putting on airs or trying to do anything to cater to anyone specifically, but there were just people that the scene likes.
Yeah. There's no way to like. I don't know. I'm sure there's a word somebody would like write it in the comments, but like there's a word for that, but I don't know what it is.
Send it over.
So Slasher Dave.
Slasher Dave goes up, bro. And I just seen him like 2 weeks prior Acid Witch with Cloak at the Garage Shop in Cleveland, and I was talking to him there about shows and stuff. And when I was talking to him there, it kind of came up during his sets, because when he does his Instagram lives, he plays all kinds of like new shit. I mean, he makes new music on his Instagram lives, and he had this song that he would play for us every once in a while, and it was a rap song with him rapping on it. And I was like, I saw him at the show at Acid Witch, and I was like, bro, you got to put that out. I gotta bump that shit. And he's like, oh, he put out that song for somebody else, I think. Like he just rapped on it and then like, you know, used the beat for them or something like that. I was like, oh man, I was like, that shit was dope. So when he was doing his set at Camp Xul, he got on the mic and he's like, is Luke the Goon out there? And I was like, I'll play the footage. I got the footage, I think. And I was like, fuck yeah. So he performed that fucking song live, bro. I was so fucking amped for that shit.
I was so like, what is this? Why does Luke know it? Why is Luke involved in this conversation? This is cool, but it's not like anything else we're playing today.
Man, yeah, I was so hyped. When he said that, I was like, fuck yes, bro. Hell yeah.
The Goon in the house. Yeah! It's talking about you and all of you motherfuckers, and I was so Luke for having me fucking out. Yeah! We got Phil Warren on some shit. Is this about to be a fucking rap? I don't know. You might hear some fucking deep cuts right now.
Oh, yeah! Let's go. But if you haven't heard Slasher Dave's music, it's like it's like horror music soundtrack.
John Carpenter with
Carpenter
electronic like dance music elements a little bit.
Yeah. Last year he even like sampled some shit live on stage and shit. He didn't do that this year, but yeah, his set was dope. And he has Philip Warren on the drums, who's also a cool motherfucker. So I always love seeing Slasher Dave. I got to see it with big homie Dean because Dean loves his music as much as I do. So
I was standing right in the middle of you too. So
yeah,
we were all nodding our heads synchronized.
Yeah, dude. Oh, and this is something I forgot to mention that I noticed like very early on. I think Devious T, there was like 2 or 3 people who camped out in front of the stage for Xul. Like they weren't moving. They like when people were done, they just sat down and and they would stand up because they were waiting for the bloodbath that was gonna happen. So yeah, people were fucking ready for that shit.
Yeah.
The one last thing I want to say about Dave is that having listened to all his records, I had no idea how heavy it would be live. Like it's very like pulsing, like rhythmic.
It's head bobbing. Like when he's doing it, you're like boom, boom, boom.
Different than I expected from just listening to the records because it gets a little bit more soundtracky when you're listening to it recorded.
Yeah. I really wish you would have got Acid Witch there, but I guess the guitarist had like something he had to do the next day or something like that. Couldn't make it out. So a little bum. Maybe next year. Acid Witch at Camp Xul 3. Let's make that shit happen.
Yeah, that would be great.
That would be dope. Because seeing Dave do the witch voice live is such a it's such a weird experience. It's like some weird dissonance where you're like, what? Uncanny Valley.
Yeah.
But yeah, after Slasher Dave, Blaze went on.
Blaze did his thing. Blaze always does his thing. Have you ever seen a bad Blaze set?
No,
not me neither.
No.
It's like a fucking, it's like a synchronized watch. It's on time every time.
It's consistent. He's very consistent.
He performed my favorite track all time, fucking Mr. Dead Folks. That is my favorite Blaze track. I've been lucky enough to hear that live 5 times now.
And as the joke goes, on 5 Piece, he played Dead Man Walking, so I was walking it out.
Yep.
I was doing the same, and someone came up to me and gave me a pat and said, like, do it or something. Like, let's go.
And I like that he had that new song. I think it's called "I'm a G."
Yeah,
I like that.
I love that
song.
track. I fucking love that track.
I'm glad it's the best song on that record for sure. I'm glad that he added it to his set because
he did a couple from the new record, and I was really it warmed my heart a little bit to see that people like knew the songs and knew the words and were excited because some like
Cadaver is a dope fucking record.
I really like it.
It's fire. There's a track on there. If we're just gonna talk about Blaze for a second, there's a track on there called "God Don't Like Ugly."
Yeah,
it's one of my favorite Blaze's songs ever.
Yeah, it's quickly become one of my favorite Blaze albums. I think it's up there with some of the all-time ones. So
Damn.
I was excited to see people knowing it because, like, you know, if Twiztid would have done something new, I don't know if people would have known it as well. Or ABK's newer stuff, it seemed like people didn't know the songs that well. But with Blaze, people stick with Blaze, and
Big Homie's always on point, like I was saying.
Yeah.
Blaze did his thing. I don't want to talk about that too long because we have so much more to cover.
Yeah.
So yep.
I was pretty up. I was like almost in the exact same spot that I was last year.
Not me. I was closer.
Up close by the stage and on the left-hand side if you're me, right-hand side if you're on the stage right, I guess they call it, or whatever the fuck. And like I was literally almost the exact same spot. And they bring out the tarp and they've got all the shit covered. And it was a long wait. I don't know how long it was, but it felt like an eternity standing there waiting for them to start the set. Because it was just like I'm waiting for the Spotify playlist to like the volume to go down to dip, you know, like they do. And it was just like fucking waiting. So then they finally cut the lights.
Big ass devil horns on the side of the fucking stage.
I was so close stage, I didn't see them until the set was done, and then I walked back. I was like, oh, that's dope. But yeah, they pull down the fucking thing, and then there's 3 kneeling.
Bill, Joe, and Lee.
Bill, Lee, and Joe, and they're like this praying. I'll probably have some footage, you know, you guys
like 2.0s with the classic like almighty
with the beanies with the work shirts. It is literally the old image.
Yeah. And I'm so close that I can see that it's not them. I think some people in the back thought it was them, but I was so close I was like, okay, I know it's not them. And but then they come out, they walk out, they've got these big knives with them. And
they're rocking these fucking old. They're rocking these OG NWO fucking
LLE
fucking throwback jerseys that say LLE instead of NWO.
Yeah,
those boys got to put them bad boys out, bro. They've got to put them bad boys out. Those things were fresh.
Yep.
But they come up and they slit the neck of the 2.0s, and then it's just squirt. Tom Martino provides the blood, and they're like squirting all over the front of the crowd. And it was red Kool-Aid. I could tell as soon as that motherfucker hit. I could smell the fruit punch Kool-Aid as soon as it hit.
Billy had said that he was expecting it to be a little bit gushier.
Yeah.
So next year.
Yeah. Well, it did get a little bit gushier later on in the set because they played good old Weasel. The homie
Weasel
came out
puking on everybody.
Puked on everybody. I think it was during Deathbed, maybe. I don't know. I don't remember.
Yeah, I think it was Deathbed.
Puking, and it was going way back in the crowd, all over. He was like trying to hit specific people and shit. And the whole time, like they're like spraying people with squirt guns, and Martino's hiding in the back, fucking spraying
people
like
with shit. Like this was so much fun on top of being a Xul set.
Yeah. So they introed with Parrish. They went into We Are One, and then they took a little break. deathbed. The whole thing was like super theatrical. Like they had
the whole time.
they had different shit. Rigor Erectus. Joe had the little 6-inch maggot for a dick in his hand,
and it popped.
We
Yeah,
said-
he jerked it off into the dude next to me's face.
He had a money shot. Somebody got a money shot from
Yeah,
the maggot dick.
The dude standing right next to me. I thought for sure I was gonna get it because Joe's got it out for me, but luckily I avoided the Rigor Erectus. I don't.
You got it.
Luckily, I avoided I wasn't in the line for that.
Yep.
Yeah, LIFE. They played Life. Forever Face.
Pit was disgusting. I couldn't stay in it the whole time. I'll admit it. I was in a perfect place where I could fade in and out of it, and it was, them boys. It went rowdy. We went hard for them.
Oh yeah, and I said I was gonna bring up Psycho again. Psycho coming out for Belial would have been fire, bro. Like,
but didn't he do it? But didn't he come out for Belial for year one?
I don't think so. They didn't do any collabs on stage last year.
Thought he did. I might be thinking of a different set.
Yeah.
Either way, I was on drugs.
Yeah, that would have been dope. But I mean, hey,
he was gone 2 days by then. So
yeah, it didn't really matter because they had a bunch of collabs on this one. Let's see, what was the first?
They did Brainless. They did fucking Brainless.
Yeah. Alternate Dimension was first with Blaze.
Yeah.
Blaze came out, and there's like some contention over what happened with Blaze. And standing so close, he was definitely having mic problems. I think they said on Tuesday Night Terror that he forgot his words, but he was definitely having mic problems as well.
It was both, I think, because I know that he was inaudible at first, and then I heard the mic go up, and then there was feedback, and they brought it back down.
Yeah.
Well, so there seemed to be issues every time they tried to have more than 3 mics.
Yeah, and I think they got it by the end, but Blaze being the first one.
After Blaze, it seemed to be fine because they had Blaze on Alternate Dimension, and they brought out SON for Move Back, which was super fucking dope.
And I've told Logan this. His verse on Move Back is the hardest verse in the underground.
Yeah.
That is such a fucking, it's such a punch to the face.
It's funny because he says King of Dark Energy in the fucking verse, which is basically the whole thing now.
Yep.
But yeah, and then after he was done, the crowd started chanting SON, which is really fucking surreal and kind of crazy. And
they gave us a little tidbit of information about how long they've known him.
Oh yeah,
Joe claimed that he breastfed him.
Oh yeah,
and that Logan's a biter.
Yeah, I mean, you'd be surprised. But yeah, it was funny because they were like, people were chanting it, and Bill's like, it's funny you say that because he is our son. And then that was when that came up.
If you fuck with us, you need to fuck with Legion, okay? I hear you, motherfuckers. Very nice, very nice. Any evil. It's funny you guys say that, and he's saying that because he really is our son. Straight up. Specifically Jones. I used to breastfeed him. Well, me and Joe, of course. Me and Joe used to come in petri dishes, and he popped up one day. And I'm the mom's side to breastfeed. He doesn't go easy on the nipple. He's so fucking fighter.
That was a lot of fun. That was he fucking came out with such a shotgun energy too, and just
that's what that verse is. That him and Joe, that track is goddamn, man. And to see it live finally was unbelievable.
Yeah, it was fucking great.
Yeah, last year I was really disappointed when it didn't happen because they performed it, and I remember thinking in my head did Logan not fucking tell me he's going up on stage? You know what I mean? And I look back and no, he's there, and I'm like, what the fuck? And then they played the trunk. This is last
with
year.
Diabolic.
Yeah, and I'm like, oh, Diabolic will come out for sure. Nope, no Diabolic. I'm like, what the fuck?
Well, we got it this year though.
This year they remedied that. They played the truck, and
that's what the
Diabolic came out, and I was like, fuck yes, fuck yeah, finally,
Again,
listen to my cries. And
you were heard, Luke. You were heard.
I was heard. And I was satiated by this performance. It was awesome, man. Seeing all the collabs.
Like I was saying, we also got Brainless with Super Famous.
Brainless was Super Famous at the end, and
which
then
got
they
a pop.
played,
I can't even.
I think they at the end of the set, it was the way they set the end of the setup was so fucking perfect because they did Brainless to bring out Super Famous.
Yep.
And then they did Axis Family, which is one of my favorite tracks. Because I said this on 5-Piece, I think, if you watched it last week.
From the Almighty Era.
Axis Family is one of those songs where it's like I want to find the Zooligan nearest to me and just fucking rock out with them because like it's the Zooligan anthem in my opinion. You know what
It's
I mean?
one of them.
It's Axe is family. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. I fucking love that song live.
And just screaming that in a room full of people that are all there, been there for 3 days.
Yeah.
Their energy is at a peak.
Yeah.
Yeah, at a crescendo. This is the biggest we're gonna get.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My whole goddamn family
Answers to the beast.
That was such a
yeah.
scream. Yeah.
Yeah. And then they ended the set with one of my other favorite songs, Zooligans.
Yep.
Is, I really
It's just a funny, it's a fucking
Yeah.
feel good track, man. It's a great way to end after all of that mayhem.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and that song, bro, I ain't gonna lie, that song brought tears to my eyes at certain points because especially Joe's verse.
He said he was gonna fuck it up because he was crying.
Yeah, because well, Joe's verse, he's like, "You got a homie in me. I'll always only be just a song away, even on your darkest day." And that kind of shit, I don't know. That shit always fucking gets to me. That especially when they perform it live.
Yep.
Well, you can. It's one thing to hear the record and know that he means it, but the palpable energy in that room and the fact that they had just been tearing up talking right before they played the song and like the whole thing, it was just like indescribable energy.
Yeah.
Just a beautiful.
I mean, think about it. This is the only other people who could compare this energy is Violent J back in the original gatherings.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. Like ending with like nothing's there, like pass me by or something.
Yeah,
like that. Like,
yeah, exactly. That's
the best way. Like if you have never been to Camp Xul and you're thinking about going to Camp Xul and you're an old
fucking
school
go.
juggalo, and you're an old school juggalo, like that's the vibes. Like pass me by. Like at the end of a gathering, that's like what it felt like. It was like, oh man, like, and like I remember when it was done, like everybody kind of turned around.
Just hugged everybody.
Yeah, I was about to say, like, I went straight to the Legion crew because that shit.
I just started hugging anybody around me.
Yeah, like it was literally with people just hugging people. I was like, this is crazy, bro.
Just
like,
one after the next.
I think it was also like, you know, the end of everything, but yeah, it was.
But it's the beginning.
Yeah.
It felt exactly like that. We ended this weekend, but like here we are. This is a thing that we are setting.
This is the second time we've done this successfully. Not only is it successful, the Terrortown people fucking love us. No ODs, no fights, no drama, except for what everybody already knows about.
Yeah, which wasn't even that really big.
Minor, fucking minor at best.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. The other cool thing I wanted to mention this is not really related, but related because we're getting towards the end anyway, is the really fucking cool thing that they did was, I don't know who did it, but they were putting out big, like those big, like 48 bottles of water out. For
the Michigan Misfits did it.
Oh, okay.
Really?
Big shout out to them.
They made a post and said there's water if anybody needs it. As a matter of fact, when the bar ran out of water, they bought water.
Shout out to those guys.
We all were doing everything we could to take care of each other. Shout out to fucking Xul Scout. Shout out to my old lady Casey for taking care of Moondoggy when she went fucking all catatonic from the heat. Whoever was the one that took care of Scotty V, thank you so much. We all, when we say we are one, but we really fucking mean that shit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that was the energy the whole weekend, was just people that, you know.
What do you need? What can I do to make your time easier?
Right. 100%.
Mm-hmm.
People, and even like on a smaller level, not keeping people alive, but people buying each other beers that were strangers 5 minutes ago, stuff like that. It was a very like
want to hit this?
atmosphere.
Literally just handing it to the next guy in line. I don't even know who he is.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. It was a beautiful thing. Like, that's the best way I can even describe it. Is it was the things that I used to feel about certain other things
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
I mean,
old school Juggalo vibes. Like there's that joke, like, you know, what happened to all the old school Juggalos?
we became
Zooligans.
Zooligans.
Yeah, we became
Yeah.
Zooligans. That's the joke, you know what I mean? Because that's like, you know, it's what
Mostly the
they're doing
truth.
right now. Yeah.
Well, even like when it really set in for me the first time was watching ABK, and I think I went to the bar to get a beer, and as I was on my way over, I saw Dean running into the crowd during gang related, and then Tom Martino standing in the doorway, like throwing his hand up, and I was just like, oh yeah, we all came from the same place and evolved into this space.
I said it in my confessional. I don't know if it'll get used, so I'm going to say it here. There are plenty of outdoor festivals, but this is something different. This is something that's never been done before like this, and good luck fucking topping it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess we'll mention highlights for us, you know. I had a couple, probably, and then most of them were like talking to people, talking to Carver that first day. And then I didn't mention this, but I finally gave Tom Martino his award for directing the music video of the year last year, Deathbed.
Nice.
So that was really cool talking to Tom. He really enjoyed it. I think he said his mother will enjoy it more than he will. But he hung it up in his studio. I always like talking to Tom. Tom's a cool motherfucker. Like,
Yep.
I like that dude a lot. And Slasher Dave's performance, SON's performance, and then when SON came out on stage for Xul, because that was a fucking. I don't think people realize
how big that is.
How big that was for him, for SON, and like the history there. And like, you know, I've been behind the scenes with that for a long time. So to see it culminate the way that it did, and then for people to chant SON afterwards, that was wild, man. That was wild.
Yeah. And
my highlight, top highlight, FAMs.
Yeah.
I mean, Xul, I'm
There's
not
so many. There's gonna be some that I'm not gonna mention. But
right?
Yeah,
like,
it's
like Xul goes without saying. I'm not gonna say that they were the best, because of course they were. But the set at FAMs and the Hooligans last year was was a sleeper hit. This year you could have called them a headliner. The energy they brought, the stage show. And shout out to them boys, only leveling up more and more and more. Fucking 20-6, dog.
Yeah. Oh, and I didn't mention this. I should have, but go donate to their fucking shit.
Yes.
Please. Anything helps.
Yeah.
They were in an accident after they left.
FAMs hit a fucking deer going like 70 miles per hour.
Jump through the fucking window. That's Final Destination shit.
He's still pulling glass out of his fucking head. So they can use those motherfuckers. Like, they do shows for free, basically. Like, they just take that van. So that van is like their livelihood. You know what I mean? So as much as we can get them to upgrade to fucking something new, to get them around the country to perform for everybody, the better. I'll put a link in the description. I think it's like fams.com/donate. So I think that's what it is.
Repenttofthe26.com is their current website /donate.
Yeah. So I'll put the link. I'll put the link down there so you guys will know. But yeah.
I don't know, man. Fucking. So I'm just glad they're okay.
Yeah, for real.
One thing we didn't mention about their set was that they played a bunch of the new songs from White Trash Pope.
They did. They did band versions of a lot of White Trash Pope tracks,
and it was really fucking cool.
And it was very well received.
Yeah. Highlights, set wise. I mean, the people we've focused on were my highlights: Sky Swamp, FAMs, Super Famous. So no surprises, but SON was a real highlight for me. I was on stage just screaming "Welcome to the Hive" at the top of my lungs, holding up the fucking thing triangle for till my arms hurt, and it just fucking ruled. And like I said, like meeting people, like I'm far away. I haven't had anyone from this scene come to my neck of the woods since 2019. So seeing everyone live for the first time, not Xul, but everyone else, and meeting people for the first time that I've talked to a bunch online and all that kind of stuff. Even like, day zero, walking up, and the only person I knew well enough to say hi was Whipstick, because we talk online, and he introduced me to like his old friends that he's known since he was 16, and we just spent the whole weekend, me and the people I was with, hanging out with Whip's old friends and kind of bumping into him here and there, and just stuff like that is like somewhere between like it's just not something you get at other places, no matter where you're going, you know, unless you're like heavy into the hardcore scene or something. Like those are intimate moments that aren't always happening near music, and it was really, really cool to be a part of.
So should we tell them things that they should absolutely bring if they plan on coming next year?
Bug spray,
sunscreen.
Yeah, sunscreen for sure. I've been peeling, like I'm still peeling.
Really?
Bug spray and sunscreen. It is Ohio, people. These bugs do not fuck around. Get tick repellent specifically.
Yeah.
Check yourself. You want to wake up allergic to fucking red meat? But like, if you're gonna camp, make sure you have a canopy. Bring chairs, water. If you've gathered before, it's a marathon, not a sprint.
Yeah. And
I know you want to get drunk. Hydrate.
Yeah, we had a box of water in the back of our car, and we would just walk across between sets and chug a bottle and go back.
Yeah, I went back to my car a lot to get some water.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think we hit a lot on the constructive criticism. I think pretty well. Like I said, I think
they listened from our constructive criticism from last year.
I think this for next year. I think letting hooligans do events would be really fucking dope.
Psycho set, head of horn set.
Yeah. Doing like event sets. I keep saying we need a Knox set. Like let Carver come out.
That's my dream. That's my dream for Camp 3 is fucking
too high on it when I mentioned it.
Is a fucking psycho head of horn set and then a Knox set. That is my dream, but I know we're not gonna get it.
This doesn't have to be Camp Xul 3. I'm talking about Knox set in like at Camp Xul 10 when you guys are kind of running out of ideas, you know.
he's like we're always waiting, Lee. We're always waiting.
We're always waiting and ready. That was something I didn't mention. I was so fucking happy they finally re-released Knox Masker Mask.
Yeah.
Yes, they did.
CD. I've been waiting for that for 2 years, maybe more, for them to finally re-release that and put it on.
It's been a while. It's been sold out.
It's not on the web store yet, but I'm sure it will be up there. They even had shirts and stuff. Like I was like, hell, fucking yeah. But yeah, a Knox set like Camp Xul.
For next year, people will know it. They have access to the music now.
Yeah, it's re-released. Come on now. Come on, Carver. I know you want to do that set. Wear like a bandana or something. You don't have to wear the forever face. Wear like a bandana or something.
Or get someone to make a massacre mask. They got
words cannot describe how awesome these 4 days were.
Yeah,
absolutely. And like I mean, it cost me an arm and a leg and a bunch of stuff to get there, but I'm
still digging myself out, but it was worth it.
Yeah, I'm planning on every year. This is what I'm doing.
Yeah, I don't like to miss Astros, but I will never miss this ever again.
Yeah.
Yep.
100%.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty good spot to end it on. We don't
do our social shit.
Oh yeah. Go for it, Fats.
You can find me on Facebook as Fats King, same as Instagram. I am on the worst podcast in the underground. We are Pics. It didn't happen. Been at this shit for almost 3 years. We do all of this for the underground. I bleed for this shit. Literally. You can find us at Pics. It Didn't Happen official on Instagram and Pics. It Didn't Happen on YouTube. Same name for fucking Facebook.
Then I'm at Twiztid History, going through Twiztid's history, and then also newly Do It for the Underground page that I'm a little more excited about at this point, where I'm keeping news and updates and throwbacks from all the people we talked about today and others. So like old content from Insane Poetry and new news about Dean, whatever you want, that's what I'm trying to kind of keep abreast of.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, you're on my channel, so you already know who the fuck I am. Undergroundcatacombs.com, LukeTheGoon.com. You're probably already fucking here. I will say I have a big announcement that's going to be coming hopefully soon, the coming weeks. It's going to be big. So look forward to that. Might be my next video. I don't know. But
so much for 42 minutes.
Yeah, I know. We went an hour over.
Hour 42.
We don't have dates on Camp Xul 3. That would have been kind of a cool thing to do also at the end.
I imagine it'll probably be similar.
Yeah, probably same time, probably June.
They said at the Q&A they were aiming for the same time next year.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Someone complained that it was the first week of June, and they said maybe the second next week. Yeah.
Too fucking bad.
Yeah. Get the fuck over it. Everybody's going to complain about something.
Yeah, there's not perfect dates.
All right. Well, I want to thank Fatz and Robbie for coming on. It was dope kicking it with you guys at Camp Xul as well. So yeah, if you guys have made it this far, you guys are the real fucking MVP because this is gonna be a long ass video.
Ah, damn, we rambled.
Yeah, we do. But
lot
yeah,
of
I
stuff.
guess I'll end it there. Thank you guys for tuning in once again, and I will see you guys again real soon.